Hey everyone, excited about this particular interview that I have with the team from Nine in Australia, talking about self-serve, talking about, their journey that they've taken in terms of standing up and where they are, where they've been, where they're going, go-to-market strategies and so forth, and just wanting to learn. And all I can tell you is, as someone who tries not to do this and mention this, the prep call I was blown away with all the things that they're doing, and I think just real great stuff for us to sit there and talk about what the possibilities are and some ideas. I think for anyone that's considering self-serve, whether you've already started or not, that there are some things here that can give you a roadmap into some things. And again, they also are looking to learn from others too. So with that, Todd and Grace, thank you for joining. I think the natural spot to start is if one, I'm going to start with you, Todd, and introduce yourself and your title and stuff like that, but maybe talk about your company and where you started in terms of exploring self-serve as an opportunity.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Yeah, really excited to be here. We've heard a lot about these and great to be a part of it. I'm Todd Fisher. I'm Director of Nine Ad Manager here at Nine. Nine is the largest media company in Australia. We've got TV assets, publishing assets, radio assets. And yeah, we kind of looked at self-serve a couple of years ago. We had a little bit of a play at it with a Nine Voyager platform, which we sort of developed in-house. We had a lot of interest. A lot of people were keen to, get their companies onto TV. So we had lots of people sign up and really interested in the platform. I guess the big learnings out of that were creative and minimum campaign spends. So a lot of people were interested, but then didn't go through the whole journey to transact because we were asking sort of $15,000 in minimum spends, and you needed to have a TV ad or some sort of video that we could use on air. So lots of interest, but sort of little traction. But I guess the appetite for Nine to get into sort of self-serve and attract a new audience really. So Nine has dealt with major media agencies and major companies, sort of the top end, but not sort of that small and medium base. So self-serve was an obvious journey to kind of look at new customers to Nine and how we could transact with them. So yeah, the first sort of Nine Voyager experiment, wasn't successful, but I guess proved a few things in that self-serve journey. So Nine Ad Manager was sort of born out of the back of that. We started to work with DanAds on sort of standing up the platform, and then we looked at how we could go to market with that. But then, taking the learnings from, high minimum spends and no creative, we're able to look at how Nine Ad Manager could solve that because we knew there was an appetite for small and medium businesses to get their brands on TV. So reducing spends down to $500, incorporating an AI tool through Waymark, where they could create their
Now
own
you're getting
creative,
ahead of yourself
seen as
here.
an.
I have a whole
Yep,
interview here
I
for
know.
you. Okay, Todd? No, that's cool. That's awesome. No, but that's exactly, I mean, one, what I heard there, right, is just that enough proof that there's interest, right? And that is something I think
Yes.
that a lot of people wonder about is whether there's in fact interest in this. And then it's a matter of going, okay, you have to learn. You can't just build it and hope that they show up and that they use that and so forth. Grace, can
Exactly.
you talk a little bit about what your role is with this, and just again where you've been as a part of this journey?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Grace McLaughlin, and I'm product manager for customer platforms at Nine. So Nine Ad Manager is one of the two products I look after, and it's my favorite. So I came on board in January. So we'd just gone live with the MVP. So then I've worked with the team to flesh out the product roadmap. We're doing surveys and gathering audience insight, tracking analytics and user behavior on the platform. So we can really see from the customers we have converted, what are they doing, what are they struggling with, and how can we help enhance the platform that little bit further. And we might touch on this later, but we've gone to a lot of events where we can speak to our customers one-on-one and demo and get feedback. And a lot of them are saying that because Meta and Google have hiked up their prices, it's no longer that attractive to the small end of town. So we're giving them another option as well.
Think that's really interesting. I think, and again, this is the part where, in my conversations with the two of you so far, there are things that you've said that I've not heard us talk about as a group. And one, we've turned from saying that like Google and Meta as competition, but they've also educated the market in actually using self-serve, like that they can do it.
Yeah.
But the fact if their rates are going up or there's things creates opportunity, right? And that allows us to kind of go there. So talk a little bit about the go-to-market strategy. And Grace, you hit on some of this, but Todd, please weigh in.
Yeah.
Like events and webinars and demos, and you're doing a lot of things.
Yeah, we've been lucky that we've been given sort of free reign or try, test and learn in our go-to-market strategy. So there's a few things that we kind of work through initially. Resellers was one aspect. So we have relationships in Australia with Win TV, which is a regional TV, has regional TV stations, and they have an existing sales force that can't sell BVOD. So they were able to sort of come on board and use their existing relationship. So that sort of sales model worked really well initially and still is. We've obviously gone direct to consumers. So, running TV ads across our network and all those sorts of obvious things that you would do as a media company to attract new customers. We found that we would go to market, we'd say we've got this amazing platform, but education was a big part of what we needed to do. So people know about TV ads, they knew about 9Now, which is our streaming platform, but we sort of needed to piece together that they too could get their business onto 9Now through 9Ad managers. So we found that events were a good place to get out there and tell people about this. So we've been to quite a few events around industry events, small business events, where we can go out and talk to people. Everyone that we talk to knows about 9. They know what a TV ad is, but they weren't able to kind of piece together the next part for them. So it's really just the education piece of explaining how 9Ad Manager works. They may have done some advertising, to your point, on Google or Meta before, so it's quite a simple transition that they can then step through the journey and place their ads onto 9. So everything was kind of a new focus, new business. We're kind of attracting at about 98% of our customers are new to 9. So it's all sort of new customers to 9, which is great. But yeah, the events where we've doubled down into retail themed events, because that sort of industry has worked really well for us. So e-commerce and retail customers who are all spending across other platforms, and they've seen this as a really perfect way to get more awareness for their brands, not necessarily to take money out of those platforms, but to complement those platforms as well. And we've seen some really good success. So those events have been great. As Grace said, we get great feedback around like how people understand the platform and things like that. We do a series of demos, so you can book a demo on our platform. We find people are still a little bit hesitant. They might have been using other platforms for years, but are still a bit hesitant, like, how do I book a TV ad? It seems a little bit daunting. So we run one-on-one demos with customers. They can book a time that suits them. Someone from the team jumps onto a call. Usually within the first 5 minutes, they get that sort of, this is actually quite easy and I can do this myself. And that's sort of, where we see that. And what we kind of find is when we do those demos, we have a higher conversion rate. So we kind of track about 20 to 25% of people that sign up on the platform transact. But when we do these demos, we sort of get into that 30 to 35% of conversion. So it's well worth the time. We're looking at now how they are becoming repeat customers. So once they've got sort of a better understanding of the platform, because we're able to talk to them around how to use it properly, benefits to them. And they will set up a better campaign to start with. So we're hoping that sets them up for success and sort of ongoing success as we keep going.
So talk about, that's great. And that conversion rate on that, again, is a thing that, again, I'm thinking about how to use that internally as a potential target, right? Again, I think that's part of what we as a group are always trying to do, is find out, again, what works. And while each publisher is different. The idea of actually saying like, let's make those demos possible. If you have a conversion rate like that, that starts to add up. That starts to work through that. The part of it
Yeah.
though is that again, we're talking about TV spots here, and that to me
Yep.
seems to be like going to be a barrier for anyone that doesn't have a commercial setup. Can you talk about what you've done
Yep.
there to alleviate kind of the creative struggle?
Yeah, definitely. And that was sort of one of the learnings from our original foray into self-serve. So customers just didn't have the creative, or didn't know where to go, or don't have the budget as well. So as part of kind of the initial platform with DanAds, we worked with Waymark to add an AI creative tool, which takes the website, grabs all those assets off the site, has a range of different templates that it can enable. It writes a script, it adds a voice, and it really, within 2-3 minutes, you can get sort of your first draft of a TV commercial. And people are really excited. So when we talk to people that even have video assets, they're really excited that that is part of the platform. We see about 15 to 20% of our customers use that. So that's sort of 15 to 20% of customers who wouldn't have probably transacted because they didn't have that video asset, but just makes it easier. People are excited. So I think AI a few years ago was a little bit confronting to people, but
Yeah.
when you see it in this kind of use case where it's taking all of your images that you already have, it's, you're giving it a prompt to say, this is what I want my ad to focus on. It writes that first draft of the script, and you're kind of just making edits rather than how do I start with it with video creation, because it can be quite overwhelming. So we're seeing good success. People like just to play with it. They might already have their own video, so they'll run it against their existing videos. So yeah, that's been even a sales hook as part of, when we go to market, we say that you can, we've got a creative tool that can help you with this. So there shouldn't be any barriers to getting your business on the big screen. So yeah, it's been really effective. It's kind of that 15 to 20% is what we kind of thought it would be in terms of the take up, which has been really great because we understand that those are the people and when we did Voyager, weren't able to kind of transact because then there was an added cost
Yeah.
to their media
Grace,
budget.
sorry, look like you were going to say something.
I was going to say, just quickly to add on that as well, as we work quite closely with Waymark. So as their platform evolves, we get the previews of what's coming and we feedback our customer feedback to them. So they've taken some of that on board and being able to apply it to the platform. We had a huge session of trying to pick Australian accented voices because most of them are American voice actors. So they came across a bit not quite right. So we worked with the team to pick the best of the bunch so that it did feel more local and give the customers kind of more personality that's relatable to them.
That's such a small thing, but it's so big, right? In other words, just sitting there getting the voices right. And that is, again, something that AI it can allow you to do to even, again, regionally do particular things. The thing I thought about when you were talking through it was not only could it help you if you don't have a TV asset to, video asset to use, is the fact that one thing is just creative frequency. Great, you have one ad that you did. And if you just run that over and over again, you know that it loses effectiveness. The fact that you could have an AI tool that could, again, you can prompt it to do something different. It's the fall version or it's this sale version or whatever. Starts to get really, really interesting for, probably an advertiser that has no budget by which to do any of those types of things. You start to open up even new opportunities there. Which
we saw that with Black
please.
Friday in the last few weeks. People were just able to quickly keep their existing campaign running, but just change the creative out really quickly and then switch it back.
It's not the only place you're using AI. I'd love for you to talk about support and intercom and what you're doing there and how that ties into this as well.
Yeah. So we are a small team. So you're viewing at the moment. There's 2 of us, and that's half of our
There's
team.
no demos going on
so
right now, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So we are really small. So we need to obviously scale this out. We need to find smart ways to do that. And Intercom allows us to serve our customers that way. And Intercom helps us, in a few different ways within the business, like emails and sort of CRM, but also sort of that first line of support through its AI bot. So we have one of our team is customer success, and their job is to help customers, but also a big part of their job is to kind of feed Finn, the AI bot, on Intercom with all of our resources and help content and FAQs, so that Finn is able to 24/7, answer any type of query that we see come through the platform. So first line of support is AI generated. 39% of queries get sort of initiated and answered by Finn to start with. He closes out about 20%. So pretty good close rate. And, some of it's like, I can't log in, sort of those common things that happen all the time that we don't want Caleb in our team, spending his time on when he could be spending time on other things. So the AI and his job of feeding the AI is really important. So Intercom's great where it's continuously learning. We see in the back end, it'll give an answer and we can improve that answer. So for next time, we can kind of tweak how that works. We actually are blown away sometimes with some of the answers that he comes up with. I've had to look after that inbox a few times, and he does a way better job than I could ever do with our platform and answering questions. But so, that's a big part. We have 92% satisfaction levels. So whenever we close down a ticket, we ask them to score it out of 5. And sort of over the last 6 months, we're at a 92% satisfaction, and that's AI and human. So there's sort of, both combining there. It seamlessly hands over if someone, some people just don't like dealing with AI, even though if it's given the same answer as we would, it seamlessly goes into the queue and we can pick it up. But yeah, in terms of being able to scale and save time, Intercom and the AI are part of their customer success and customer service is invaluable to us, because otherwise we just need to have a whole team sort of looking after that, whereas we can kind of work a little bit smarter and not harder in terms of just focusing on content and having sort of the right answers there so that Finn can kind of reference those and add his flavor to them.
Which leads you to just the idea that, again, if you can lean on something like AI to help with support and do that successfully, that means you're spending more time on the future and things that you can build out. And Grace, I know that that's something that you're focused on. Can you talk about what's ahead for 2025 and maybe even a little bit beyond? But like, what does your roadmap look like?
Yeah, sure. So we really like to test DanAds. So we have 3 pieces of work in development as we speak. So as much as we said that people are starting to turn away from Facebook and Google because of the higher spends, we're integrating Matchcraft into 9Ad Manager so that people can purchase search and social as a part of their self-serve journey with us. But it takes away the complexity of the auction process and really simplifies it for them. We are integrating with our own digital display assets, so that'll be coming in the new year, just really leveraging our own content again. And we are working on enhancing the reporting capabilities so that people have a bit more information about where the ads are being delivered, and then from there they can make smarter decisions about where they might target next time. So that's all in development. And then on the roadmap ahead, as Todd mentioned, we have a really strong relationship with some resellers. So building out a bit more of a complete reseller functionality. And then we really want the platform to be a one-stop shop for small to medium businesses. So future goals is digital out of home, and then working with our own audio assets as well. And then I've got a massive backlog of user enhancements, and we're all about simplifying it for the user, making it simple so that we don't need to hold their hand through it. So yeah, we'll be chipping away at those as well.
That sounds like enough of a plan for a year. I think that should keep you busy.
We might run out of steam towards the end, but we'll start off strong.
Well, look, I mean, here, what I heard there was just, again, as advertisers are always questioning what works, performance and stuff like that, giving them more assets, giving them more capabilities, going one place to get all of that certainly is going to lead people toward that platform, giving that feedback, reducing the friction. These are all the things that we all have to be kind of thinking about and so forth. So Todd, Grace, I want to really thank you for sharing that. And again, most of this has been in the last year that you've really been doing this, and so kudos to you for the amount of progress. And I know, Grace, with what you just shared, you have a lot more work to go, and so really appreciate you kind of sharing that and so forth. So thank you so much.